Hello everyone, I am Dr. Digambar Ghodke. I would like to welcome you all to this lesson 5 on research methodology. Having discussed the key terms in research and research methodology in lesson 3 and 4, in this lesson and in the next lesson too, we shall talk about different types of research. The different types of research include applied research, basic research, correlational research, descriptive research, ethnographic research, experimental research, exploratory research, grounded theory, historical research, phenomenological research, qualitative research, and quantitative research. We shall begin our discussion with the first type, that is applied research. An applied research is a non-systematic way of finding solutions to specific research problems or issues. These problems or issues can be on an individual, group, or societal level. Applied research is called non-systematic because it goes straight to finding solutions. Further, it is often called a scientific process because applied research uses the available scientific tools and puts them to use find answers. Like in regular research, the researcher identifies the problem, makes a hypothesis, and then experiments to test it. Applied research goes deeper into the findings of true or basic research. It has 3 types. First is evaluation, then research and development, and the third type of applied research is action research. The evaluation research leads to objective research or helps people make better decisions sooner. Most of the time, evaluation research is used in business settings. The organization uses this research to figure out how the overhead costs can be cut down a lot. The second type of applied research is research and development. This research aims to create or design new products, goods, or services that meet the needs of certain markets in society. It focuses on the market needs, finding new ways to improve products that already meet an organization's needs. The third type of action research, applied research, is action research. An action research is a way to learn about things that happen in everyday life and nature. Its goal is to find real world solutions to business problems by pointing the business in the right direction. The applied study is used in business, education, science, and many other fields. To talk about the example of action research in the education field, action research in education field is used to test different ways of teaching and to find better ways of teaching and learning. Before implementing new education policies, they are tested to see how they will work, how they affect teaching, and how the classroom works. Applied education research uses both quantitative and qualitative methods to collect data from first-hand sources. This information is then looked at and interpreted differently to generate valuable results or conclusions. Having talked about the first type. Now we shall go ahead with the second, that is basic research. Basic research is a type of research used in the scientific field to understand and extend our knowledge about a specific phenomenon or field. It is also described as pure investigation or fundamental research. This type of research contributes to the intellectual body of knowledge. Basic research is concerned with the generalization of a theory in a branch of knowledge. Its purpose is usually to generate data that confirms or refute the initial thesis of the study. It can also be called foundational research because it helps in building many things on this foundation, and more practical applications are made. The examples of basic research can be seen in medicine, education, psychology, technology. Examples of basic research in education include the following questions. How does the language acquisition device work on children? How does the human retentive memory work? How do teaching methods affect students' concentration in class? The advantage of basic research is critical for expanding the pool of knowledge in any discipline, while the disadvantage is the findings of this type of study have limited or no constructive conclusions as such. Now we shall go ahead with the third type of research, that is correlational research. Correlational research is a type of non-experimental research method. In this type, a researcher measures two variables and assesses the statistical relationship between them with no influence from any inessential variable. Correlational research is a type of descriptive research that helps assess how two variables may vary together. In this research method, researchers analyze the relationship and characteristics between each variable without manipulating them. A correlation can identify a connection, but it cannot establish causation or prove that changing one variable will directly impact the other in a cause and effect manner. In statistical analysis, distinguishing between categorical data and numerical data is essential. Categorical data involves distinct categories or labels, while numerical data consists of measurable quantities. In gauging the correlation between two variables, we employ a statistical tool called a correlational coefficient, often referred to as Pearson's correlation coefficient or Pearson's R. This numerical value always falls within the range of -1 to 1. There are three scenarios that help us understand the relationship between these variables. The first one is positive correlation. This occurs when the values of both variables move in the same direction. An increase or decrease in one variable is followed by a corresponding increase or decrease in the other variable. For example, running on a treadmill for a longer period of time will help you burn more calories. The next type of correlation is negative correlation. In this type of correlation, the values of the two variables move in opposite directions. An increase or decrease in one variable is followed by a decrease or increase in the other variable. For example, a student who has many absences has a decrease in grades. The third type of correlational research is there is no correlation between the two variables. A change in one variable may not necessarily see a difference in the other variable. For example, being a millionaire and happiness are not correlated. An increase in money doesn't lead to happiness. In correlational research, the researcher can collect data for the correlation study through naturalistic observations, surveys, and documentary research. The advantages of this research are: first, it is easy to collect much information from many subjects at single time. Second, there can be wide range of variables and their interrelations. Thirdly, the study variables are not easily produced in the laboratory. However, this research has its disadvantages too. They include: the first disadvantage, it does not indicate causation, that is, cause and effect relationship. Secondly, there can be problems with self-reporting method. Having talked about correlational research, now we shall go ahead with the fourth type, that is descriptive research. This type of research provides accurate portrayal of characteristics of a particular individual, situation, or group. It is also known as statistical research. Descriptive research deals with everything that can be counted and studied, which have an impact on the lives of people. Descriptive research aims to accurately and systematically describe a population, situation, or phenomenon. It can answer what, where, when, and how questions, but not why questions. A descriptive research can use a wide variety of research methods to investigate one or more variables. Unlike in experimental research, the researcher does not control or manipulate any of the variables, but only observes and measures them. Descriptive research is an appropriate choice when the research aim is to identify characteristics, frequencies, trends, and categories. It is useful when not much is known about the topic or problem. Before one can research why something happens, one needs to understand how, when, and where it happens. The tools used in descriptive research are surveys, observations, and case studies. The advantage of this research include: firstly, they are less expensive, time consuming. In descriptive research, the researcher can collect a large amount of notes for detailed studying. This is the second advantage. Whereas the disadvantage of this research is: the first, it requires more skills. Secondly, it does not identify cause behind the research. Now we shall go ahead with the next type of research, that is ethnographic research. Ethnography is a study through direct observation of users in the natural environment rather than in a lab. The objective of this type of ethnographic research is to gain insights into how users interact with things in the natural environment. Ethnographic research involves investigation of a culture through an in-depth study of members of given culture. It is a qualitative research study which looks at social interactions of users in a given environment. Ethnographic research provides an in-depth insight into the user's views and actions, along with the sights and sounds they encounter during their day. This research provides the researcher with an understanding of how those users see the world and how they interact with everything around them. Ethnographic research methods include direct observation, diary studies, video recordings, photography, and artifact analysis, such as devices that a person uses throughout the day. Observations can be made anywhere from the user's workplace, their home, or while they are out with family and friends. The length of the studies can vary depending on the research that is being conducted. They can range from a couple of hours of observation to studies that last several months. Ethnographic research involves systematic collection, description, analysis of data for development of theories of cultural behavior. There are anthropological studies that study people, ethnic group, ethnic formations, and social welfare characteristics. It is done on the basis of observations, interviews, questionnaire, and data collection. The advantages of ethnography research are: first, it provides an ability to see firsthand how users interact with technology in their natural environment. Second, it identifies unexpected issues that the researcher might not have encountered in a usability test. Third, it provides an opportunity to test new product ideas before they are released to the market to see what demand is like. The disadvantages of ethnography research include: first, there is a greater insight into the user. It takes much longer to generate and analyze all the findings. Secondly, short studies may not get a user to act naturally as they are aware of the researchers present. Thirdly, the cost of conducting ethnographic studies is typically much higher than conducting a usability test. We shall continue our discussion on the types of research in the next video lesson 2. I hope you enjoyed this session. Have a wonderful learning time. Thank you.